What a fun build I have here. So this is this month's current shell challenge, and it is a tiny home rendition of what I want to do in my own build and also give some other people some nice build options for their own. So this was a build that I put together, and I showcased it in the Discord and along other platforms of social media, and anyone is open to go grab this shell. I do have it completely empty. I did do the road and the main little cul-de-sac, but all of the buildings are empty. And I'm going to run down the rules that I gave to everyone. We were going to tour everyone's build live on YouTube the 22nd of November. So the rules were, of course, basic shell rules. Keep all of the outside walls the same. You cannot change them. You can raise and lower them. Do not add a basement. Do not add another floor. Even if it's already a 2-story, do not add another floor. Keep everything how it is. The inside, you can do whatever you would like. Keep all of the main decor. The only reason the main decor would change, like around the cul-de-sac, the plants and stuff, is if you don't have those packs. And then from there, just replace what was there to give it that cul-de-sac feel. So there are 5 shells altogether, and my rule was make at least 3 of them livable. So the idea of having this tiny little cul-de-sac, this tiny town, is you want to have something that's interactable, that you have different types of families living there, or different types of people in general, whatever it have be, and then you can have 2 of the buildings or 1 of the buildings be something that is a community lot. So one of my community lots is a greenhouse. So this greenhouse, I want it to be more functional than just planting. So we added the topiary. There are, I believe, 6 or 8 places to plant, and then I put the flower arrangement table in there. So there's other things that you can do in there that I like to tie into the greenhouse. And then we have 3 homes, and then I also make a live-in / daycare, which we'll get to that as well. So other than that, you can use any of the packs, no CC, and just have fun with it. Create a storyline, and that's what I like about doing our shell challenges in the Lunagalaxy, is I like giving a storyline behind our shells. Not to just, here's a shell, do something with it. I try and like to do some type of a theme to give people something else to have in their save file, something that's not just home, something that's going to stick out for them, something that they're going to use, and it's their creativity. They just need a base to go off of. So then I move on to the other building that I have here, and I wanted to make this like a daycare. Now, if you have the mod live in daycare, I was thinking more so this could be one of the houses that you click on the door. I have a video of it, of how to set it up, and that would be a live in daycare. That was my idea. Or there are other ways to play this. You can lock the door, and you can have your children and quote-unquote babysitter locked inside. That sounds so morbid, but they would be taking care of your kids. Just saying, just throw that out there. Or you could take this entire lot and make it a rent lot. And my idea was, I haven't play tested it yet. My idea is to set every bottom floor to be that quote unquote apartments, because I was thinking if you do a top floor as an apartment, then anyone will walk into your bottom floor because they think it's a open floor for everyone. It's a community lot. Because you can only have, I believe, 6 or 7 apartments, and there's more than 6 or 7 rooms in this build. So my idea was, if you did this as an apartment, like this whole bottom floor building, anything that has a door attached to it to the outside, make sure that is set to, say, apartment A, apartment B. And then my idea is that if they can't get through that door, then they're not going to make it up to the top lot that is quote unquote community lot, because they can't get through the front door. But I'm going to have to play test that. I think it would work. That's what my brain is thinking, but we will see. But I'm debating on doing this as a rent lot, but I also want to try it with the with these live-in daycare. So with the daycare, I have a set little area for babies. Older kids can come here, toddlers can be here, and even if you don't have a live-in situation, it does have a kitchen so you can cook for the children. And in the back room, it's a very simple bed because I wanted literally very minimal. This is more of a daycare situation. If you're not going to do the live-in daycare, you could probably take that bed out and maybe use it for something else. Maybe use it for a little art space. You could take this stuff out of the middle of the floor, maybe put that stuff back in that room. But we're going to try and play with it, but that's just how I put the base of it there. I'd never really done like a daycare. I did a live-in daycare once in one of my other shell challenges, which, look at that. I've done 2 daycares now in a shell challenge. But after getting that situated, that house was like a lot smaller than I expected it to be. So I wasn't too happy with it. But this one, I actually kind of thought about a daycare that my mom has worked at her entire life. They have a kitchen. They have a place for the infants. The older kids have an area. But yeah, I ended up liking how this turned out. I will say this is probably the most minimalist build I've done in a while, especially a shell challenge. I didn't go super way out on the outside exterior. There is a couple spots I'm looking at it now. I'm like, man, that's kind of plain. I should have put some greenery there. But I don't know. I think it was just the size of the lot, or was just having 5 different buildings, or me doing it with 10 days left. Technically 5 days left because I did it on the Sunday, and Friday for me is in 2 days. That could be it. I don't know, but I think I'm going through that phase of I went through crazy build and all the things, make it look livable, give all the outside curb appeal, to now I'm like, just get it done. Just get it done. And there's something about bedrooms for me right now that are not going well. Like, I go in a bedroom, I'm like, bed, I'll throw in a TV, I'll throw in a dresser, and there's a light. Like, I have not been loving doing bedrooms. Bedrooms have been the last thing that I do. And I don't know, maybe I need to start with bedroom, because by the time I get to the bedrooms, I feel like I'm already burnt out on decorating, and I feel like I've been looking at the same thing 50 million times. Maybe that's why, or bedrooms are just very boring to me. And then I try and look around in my bedroom, and I'm like, okay, bed, closet, desk, couple of shelves, couple of posters, some hanging lights. It's a bedroom. And the only time I spend in here is sleeping or on my computer, and then I'm not really looking at the rest of my room. So I don't know, bedrooms are very plain for me compared to other parts of the house. So a lot of these rooms are pretty simple, because even with my Sims don't spend majority of the time in the bedroom, and when they are, I'm sending them to bed. In a situation of kids, their desk is in there. Every now and then they have a desk outside of their bedroom, but it just kind of depends. And I don't know, it's just been a weird thing. So I'm working on the live-in space right now, and this was a space that I was, once I got the bed in there, I was like, oh my gosh, this room is a lot smaller than I thought. And I could have used a twin bed, but I have this weird thing that I don't like adults having twin beds. I think it's just the fact of I've been an adult in a twin bed, and it just seems so much smaller when I was a kid. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I ever sleep on this? So ever since I upgraded from a twin bed to a queen bed, I don't think twin beds should be for adults. So I have a hard time giving adults twin beds. But if you have one, it's okay. I just feel like that I want to upgrade you and be like, you got to know the feeling of just being able to sprawl your entire body out. It's a whole different feeling. But in a nutshell, after I did the 2 community lots, I kind of had a theme for each of the buildings. So this first one that we're working on probably has the least theme, if I say that. Like, it's like a very bare minimal. You could have a single bachelor or a single bachelorette. The person that lives here, this is kind of like a little tiny home too. It's very basic. Like, you have your one room that's going to have your living room, kitchen, and dining area literally all smashed in together. You do have a nice little laundry room and mud room towards the back, and then the bedroom, you literally walk up the stairs, you're in the bedroom, and then there's the bathroom. So it's kind of pretty much like a little tiny home. But as I put this together, I realized that I didn't really have a set theme for this one like I did with my other ones. So I actually started grabbing things that I had not used yet or have barely used. So the sim that lives here is pretty casual. They may have a cat. I was thinking about that. They could have a cat or a dog. They could probably have one of those, a small one, not a big one, because the space is not meant for that. But I was really struggling with what I wanted to give them upstairs in their bedroom, because I was like, okay, I want them to be a photographer. I'm like, no, I've already done photographer. And then I was like, well, maybe I want to give them the station where they listen to, they spy on people. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I've done that in a couple of plays ago. So I ended up putting just a meditation thing up there, because I'm like, hey, you know what? They meditate. I don't know. It goes. It's fine. But then I do end up putting a brewing station out back. So I think I'm going to make them a crafter of the brewery, someone that enjoys drinks, enjoys the casualness of it, and likes to make it themselves. And that's pretty basic. And I was talking about how I don't like giving adults twin beds. Well, this one had no choice, and then I ended up giving them a bunk bed. It worked out because I had to give them a desk. I feel really weird when I have to make a house without a desk, because I feel like, again, every adult should have somewhere to work. Every adult. And this is when I was struggling trying to figure out what to put up there, and then I didn't want to make them a jeweler, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, this tiny space just took all of my creativity, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. But I ended up sticking with the brewing station. Honestly, probably could have done the candle making. You know what? I just had the idea. This house could be for, a little maker. They make candles, they make brews. I said brews, but I meant, you know what I mean? The brewery, the drinks, the beverages. But yeah, this one, as small as it was, you think it probably would have been easier to figure out how and what I wanted to do, but it was the hardest. I could not figure out what I wanted, what was the theme. Like, the upstairs is so bad. Like, I don't want to say so bad, because everyone's style is different and everyone enjoys the look and feel of less clutter, more clutter. But I don't know, like the downstairs, I don't know. I usually find a color and I'm like, yes, it's this color. And for this house, it was green. I don't know why. I think it was the chairs that I liked, maybe. And I just went with it, and I was like, yes, this color is green. This is what we're doing. But yeah, as we're going on, I started really landscaping, because I did all of the exterior of the buildings like a week prior. So altogether, this, I think, took me maybe 8 hours. I kind of want to say that, broken up into 2 different days and 2 different weeks. And I think I did that simply because I knew I didn't want to just sit here. And then I would literally walk into a brain fog if I tried to do all the landscaping, do the exterior, and do the decorating at the same time. I would have hit a roadblock, and I probably would not have gotten it done. So I did break this up into 2 different days of doing this, and now I'm really, really proud of it. That's how I feel. So on top of having 2 little community lots, we're going to have like a community playground, which without using CC, The Sims does not have a lot of playground options, which I find it to be very weird, considering we have the 2 kids packs, the toddlers, and the My Kids stuff. How did we not get better playground equipment? We keep getting swings. We don't have it. Like, why don't we have a seesaw? A seesaw would be fantastic. Like the seesaw, we have the slide, or not even just a big slide, but a slide that's better than just the one we have for the babies, or technically toddlers. Like, I was really shocked that we didn't have a normal slide. I don't know what the calling is, but I would really, really love for better playground equipment. I really would. So now we're moving on to probably one of my favorite houses, and it's my favorite house because it has a witchy theme. So my plan for this build is a family of witches live here. The mom and the dad, or the dad and the dad, the mom and the mom, whatever you choose, because we're okay with that. They are witches. And so as you can see, the outside made it very witch cottage, but also has the curve appeal that they can live in society without living in Storybrooke or any other witchy place. But there's still a piece of them that is always with them. So as I made this house, I wanted to have a little bit more greenery, a little bit more use of paranormal and all the witchy things. But they do have a child. I haven't decided if when I play it, I will make the child a witch or not, but I do have the idea that the child knows that their parents are, in the spell crafting, but they are also in love with scientists, and they want to be a scientist, and they want to dabble in chemicals and stuff. I don't want to make them a doctor, because I've done the doctor thing like 3 times. But I do end up putting like a chemical lab in their room. I give them a rocket outside. I almost put the rocket inside because I didn't realize that it literally says, do not launch inside when you hover over it. And luckily I read that. I was like, yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, I think I want to make the kid maybe not a witch, but have them someone that is interested in the science part of it. They like to mess with the plants. They like to experiment with different concoctions. So it's like they're pulling a little bit of their parents' witchcraft, which in a sense, that could very well be a part of why they love what they do. But yeah, this was probably my favorite just because I do like the witch pack. I haven't really played it much, but I feel like I like it more just because it has some of my own personal background to it, and I feel like that's why. So I usually love making anything witchy, and I don't have a green thumb, but I like using plants a lot in The Sims, and I go to plants a lot when it goes to anything that's along the witchcraft side, because it's plants. You gotta use earth. The green. Not always a green witch, but one of them. But as this goes along, I did give them a nice little cozy eating area. The kitchen isn't super huge. I do end up giving them a cauldron upstairs, and I know the cauldron also works as like a cooking pot, but you can't have, you can't be casting spells without a cauldron. It's unheard of. You had to have it. I know a lot of people were not happy with this specific one because I put a curved wall in there. The curved walls have been very dangerous, and every now and then when we do a shell challenge, I will throw in a curved wall, and they love it and they hate it, but it's okay because I think they always turn out great, even if you struggle with it. I struggled with it a little bit because they really don't give us a lot of options for things that will go on curved curved walls. But also at the same time, I don't think a lot of people use curved walls to put doors on them, which I did because I thought it would have been a really cute foyer instead of doing a typical window like it would be. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty good front entryway. This is one though that I did struggle with trying to find wallpaper for. I wanted to do something whimsical, but I couldn't find the right whimsical. Then I tried to fry flowers, and the flowers were too big. But I do love that purple floral wallpaper. Like, it's super, super, super cute. But this is about where I was actually going to stop decorating after this house. And I was like, I'm going to do the last one like in 2 or 3 days. Because I could tell that when I got up to the bedrooms, I was just like, the dreaded bedroom energy again. And I almost, this was better than what it could have been. But I do end up getting it together. And actually, like I said, I think this is probably my favorite out of the shell. Next is probably the greenhouse, which the greenhouse is so simple. Like, of all of them, that's your favorite one? Yes, that is one of my favorite ones because I don't know. And it's not even just the look of it. Like, I'm not a fan of the outside of it, but the inside, I don't know. I just like how I put the whole greenery together. You can tell when I was at my highest, when I started decorating, and you can tell when I started to just plummet. And so I haven't done a big build in a while. I haven't done a build in a while. Well, yeah, I say that, and we just did a mansion. I say that like it didn't happen like within the last month. I don't know. Maybe it's just the tiny little spaces where I had to come up with 5 different ideas instead of the one big build. You have one idea theme, and it kind of just goes everywhere in that build. But this one, I was literally building 5 different lots and trying to come up with the creativity of what this was and what that was. So maybe that was a little struggle for me, possibly. I'm not really sure. But as we're going, this is the young child's room, and I keep their room pretty basic, with the idea of, like I said, the science stuff. So we give them a computer, we give them the little science lab, which honestly I didn't know we had. I didn't. I've seen it. I don't even know if I've seen it. I've had this game so long, and I don't recall a lot of build buy items, because you have that moment where you're just constantly buying the same thing because you know it works. I think I had that syndrome for a while. And I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing this. Where did it come from? I thought about putting newspaper on the walls simply because I was thinking more so the child likes to collect stories and maybe like scientific happenings. And then it started looking very like, serial killer type. So I ended up not going with the wallpaper on the walls. It was the best bet and the best option for us. We have a 2-bedroom, 1 full bath. That is a little tight, but it worked out. It worked out. Just doing these shells and trying to come up with the shell space of the walls and making sure everything works. It amazes me how you can just take the outside, leave it how it is, and all the magic happens on the inside. I think that's why I like doing the shell challenges. It just makes it fun. And I give them a little familiar cat, by the way. If you're wanting to check out this build or any of the other builds after they start going live, I know there's a few of them that are done. Just do the hashtag LunaTinyTown and you can get the shell. You can get any of my shells. They are still in the gallery. If you ever want to search for them. And we've been making shell challenges for a year, almost 2 years now. It seems so crazy that I was sitting there and one day I was like, you know what? You should have your own shell challenges. And I was like, nah, no one would do it. It's crazy. And we've been doing it ever since. Those of you that have literally asked, Luna, when's the next shell challenge? That makes me feel so good that you guys are enjoying them. And I want to be able to give you guys another idea for things to have in your save file. So if I can come up with the creativity and you guys can be like, oh, that's the type of build I can have in my save. If you're hitting a roadblock and you don't know what to build, definitely come check out our shell challenges. I try to keep it super creative. Sometimes we do themed ones. I know our first Christmas one was a gingerbread house, and that was super fun and super cute. I loved that one. So I don't really have anything themed this year, because we did take a little break from it, and so we're getting back in the groove. And I know Tiny Town is a thing that's going around in The Sims right now too, so I wanted to kind of tie all that in. And I've always wanted to do a cul-de-sac. I just kept putting it off, and it just wasn't time yet, and that was it. So this is the house that is more bigger family oriented. So it has enough space to gather and to have get-togethers, and I definitely wanted to emphasize that whoever lives in this house does have a bigger family, but they love to entertain, with a bigger table there, the open semi-open floor concept kitchen, living room, and more so the center of the room has space for dancing, for hanging out. Every time I have an open space kind of like that, I want to put a big Christmas tree in. So there might be a Christmas tree that when you open the door there, I've always loved that. I thought I wanted to try and figure out how to put a Christmas tree in the walkway of my house. I don't technically have a foyer, but it's a little bit more open. I'm like, I could pull that off. But I probably won't try. So as we're getting this together, I would say this is probably my third favorite build. I really love the bottom floor a lot, and just the outside in general of this house and how I end up doing it with the stone walkway. And I like the brick on it. The brick and the black look really well together, and it's still tied in on the inside. We still have our plants, because let me tell you, green is a great filler color, especially when it comes to a plant that has texture, that has body, that has, you know, volume. It really changes the space. So I'm just saying, if you haven't used a lot of plants, go get you a lot of plants, because they will fill up a space so grand, so grand. But as we're getting this together, I do end up making this a 2-bedroom. I believe it's a 2-bedroom, and we have a 1.5 bath. I can't remember if I put a bathroom upstairs, or maybe it's a 3-bedroom. We'll find out. I can't remember. But I do end up putting a full bathroom downstairs. Even the bathroom started to get hit by my, I want this done, I'm tired, get it over with feeling. But once I started, I was like, no, you're going to get every build done. You're going to do this. You can. We hung out in Discord, had everyone chit-chatting with me and showing off what I was trying to accomplish. Got distracted a lot of the time, so it probably could have got done sooner. But yeah, it came together beautifully, and I can't wait to actually make all these Sims. So normally when I do shell challenges and I come up with a storyline, they're usually Sims I haven't even created yet. So I do have a lot of builds that are empty because I haven't created them yet, or I made Sims Peoples. I made like Sims me's from the community and just put them in the house. But yeah, I do want to create the Sims that are going to be in these houses. I might create one for the little tiny home, or I may grab a Sim that I just have laying around and just change their traits to make them a maker, and stuff like that. But I do focus on this house of having a little nursery. So it's a little bit smaller. It can slightly upgrade if you want to make it a little bit bigger for a like older kid. You're going to have a toddler bed or a twin bed. I think there's just enough room in there so, you know, they can get in there, get to bed, and have a little bit of space. But it turned out super, super cute. So after putting all this together and realizing that I have like a little daycare over there, I don't really have enough space for kids in the house, which is manageable. Some of them do have enough space, but this was the one that had the infant, so you would have a newborn, definitely for that. And then the other one, I see that kid as more of like an elementary age. But yeah, there's more than enough room to alter what you can once you get it. So I have this build empty, no wall decor or anything, just the cul-de-sac. And then I also have it with the outside decor done, and then I also have it completely done. So there's 3 stages of this build that you can find in the gallery. All of my information will be down below as well. Like I said, I put a little bit of the rules, well, majority of the rules, in the gallery post, and you can check out some of the other galleries of the Sims, of the Simmers that make this shell. I think now I'm wearing out of doing this, but we're gonna be coming up on the pictures soon, as well as if you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, hit that little bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. We would love to keep having you here in the Lunagalaxy, where we love and appreciate you. And let us know, what is your favorite shell of this year, since we're coming up on 2025. What has been your favorite shell to do that you've done either from me or from any Simmer in the community? And what is the next shell that you think that we're going to drop or would like to try and drop? As I'm trying to make my own save file, so I'm trying to fill up all the lots that I really have not built on. And that's one of the reasons why I've loved doing these shell challenges, is that it is helping me and keeping me motivated to do my own save file of redoing every single lot. Now, if they would just stop coming out with DLC, I wouldn't keep adding to my list, but that is neither here nor there. They're gonna keep doing what they do regardless of me. But as we're wrapping this up, I love and appreciate you guys so much. There's about a minute left before we get to the videos, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy yourself and get your rest. Take care of your health, and I love and appreciate all of you. Have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. And this is Lunagalaxy out.